if we go back to the metaphor, not metaphor, but the example, right, of the grandfather with the cheese in his nose. In an example like that, he's going to keep walking around thinking that the whole world smells until he sneezes and it comes out, until something happens and then he realizes, oh my goodness, that's why everything smelled so bad, right? But until that sneeze comes along, he's not going to realize and is going to keep thinking that everything and every room, every space smells bad. When it comes to a person and, having maybe a negative mindset and the fact that that's really impacting their experience in a negative way very substantially, is a person just destined to continue with that until something happens, the sneeze comes along and wakes them up to it? Or are there, things that a person can do are there signs that a person has to stop and start thinking that way? I mean, we just had this example of the lady in the car crash, but in general, broadly, what are maybe some, aside from, or maybe that is the sign that, if things keep going wrong for someone and it's a consistent kind of things going wrong, that's the sign that it's time to start, introspecting. Maybe, so to come at that from a bit of a different angle, right? Because in a sense, I think, and it's like this with a lot of things, that the person who is either naturally by nature or having worked on things over time, a person who is, let's say, relatively self-aware is going to be inclined to pick up on that and say, oh, hang on a second, I keep on having this experience consistently. Maybe I need to change the way I'm looking at it, and maybe I'm misunderstanding what the cause is. If, and a person who's not very self-aware is going to be less likely to realize that they're not self-aware, right? So for that person, maybe, let's say it is what it is to an extent. Let's say that I'm looking at someone I care about, someone I'm trying to support, someone who's close to me, and I see that they are very stuck and they're completely unaware of this issue and the fact that really it's in their hands and it's in their head and they could change things if they want to. Do you have any insight maybe into how someone can go about, in a way that's going to be constructive and helpful to open someone's eyes to that and to help them become more self-aware and to be able to make that progress?
Well, so sometimes I think some people are so, they have so much cheese in their nose, let's say, that it does take that big sneeze, it does take that big life-shattering, earth-shattering, life-changing event in their life, either for the good or for the not good. It's a friend or a relative's marriage, and they're so overwhelmed with joy that they decide they want to make some changes in their life to be more in line with that. Sometimes it's something on the opposite, where something terrible happens and they start reassessing their life. But without going in that direction, part of the value of having a spiritual connection and delving into particularly the Torah's wisdom, particularly Hasidic wisdom, that can help us a lot in shaping who we are, where our priorities should be. So, for example, the concept of divine providence, right? That God is involved in everything in your life, and that everything is really doesn't happen to you. Things don't happen to you. Things happen for you. We don't always understand why and how, but everything that you encounter and experience is there for you. I like to say that divine providence is kind of like targeted ads that God is sending you for what you need. It's what you need for your life. Everything that someone says to you, everything that happens to you, every situation that you in your life experience are going through is for your growth, right? Don't just go through it, grow through it. That's the idea. And so if a person is opened up to the idea of spirituality, of Hasidic philosophy, in that God's divine providence plays an active role in their lives, I can start thinking, hey, what is this trying to teach me? What is something that inside myself that I may want to reconsider? How can I get more in sync with the lesson that this is teaching me, as opposed to just saying, why me? The world is against me. What can I gain from this and grow from this? sometimes it's hitting that wall, not with necessarily the earth-shattering events, but saying, hey, you know, this is the way that I'm reacting to this doesn't feel right. This is not the way that it's supposed to be. And you know, I may want to re-examine some things.